Okay, so today is May 30th, and it's less than 30 minutes before midnight, and we have a hard question, and I don't think I know how to do it. So I guess today we are going to, or I'm going to probably watch the solution and learn how to do it. So what do we have today? Today we have the number 164 maximum gap. It's a hard question and almost it's 1400 vote upvote. So yeah, let's read the description together first, because we don't have much time left. Okay, so maximum gap. Given an integer array nums, return the maximum difference between two successive elements in its sorted form. If the array contains less than two elements, return 0. So contain less than two elements. So this is probably, yeah, then it's weird. Why don't you just give me a constraint of length from 2 to 10 to the 4th? I don't know. But anyways, so you must write an algorithm that runs in linear time using linear extra space. Okay, so for this one, you can imagine if this nums array is sorted, it will be like this, and then the difference between 1 and 3 is 2, 2 and 6 is 3, 6 and 9 is 3. So the maximum gap is 3. And this one is just the special case that if it's less than 2 elements, it's 0. So the problem is the constraint though. From 1 to 2 to the 10 to the 4, and the number range is from 0 to 10 to the 9. So the only way that I know to sort it linearly is bucket sort or counting sort. But the thing that I know is pretty easy. It's like per number per bucket. So that's how it calls bucket sort, right? But the problem is that the number range in here is too big that I can do the counting sort, right? Otherwise I will need to declare integer array of bucket to 10 to the 9th, right? I think this will get a memory limit exceed error. Let me try. Anyways, like, right, 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, if I do this, I am pretty sure this will give me error. TURN. I think. Yeah. So that's the only counting sort that I know. So yeah. And that's probably why this is hard. So yeah. And we are 22 minutes away from this. So I think I need to learn how to reduce the number of the counting sort though. So yeah. Because for this one, of course I can do the counting sort, but if the range is that big, I can't. And I'm sure that there will be a test case that the range is so big that I will get the memory limit exceeded. So I am ready to read the solution. And there's no hint. At least give me a hint. And what's the company? 2 years ago, Amazon 4 times. Related copy sorting. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I know how to do it. So yeah, let's see the solution. And let's see the discussion. Okay, compression sorting. Do what the question says. But that's n log n, right? So yeah, that's the easiest way. Radix sort is, what is radix sort? Approach is similar to approach 1. What is radix sort? Non-comparative algorithm. Avoid comparison by creating and distributing elements into bucket. So it is bucket sort. Oh my cat. Somehow I didn't know what is, well, I still don't know what is radix sort. This bucket process is repeat for each digit while preserving an order of priority. It has been considered. So it's also called bucket sort. So this is bucket sort. Let me read the code. So this is the arrow checking. Max element. This is C++, so you probably will be able to get a max element from a vector. Okay. EXP. Huh? Radix 10. Base 10 system. Okay, I'm really confused. LSD Radix sort. What is that? Oh, so hold on. But EXP is 1. What are you doing? And 10 is what? A magic number? But we have radix, right? Is that radix? No. Okay, I'm so confused. And this is approximately ON. Why there's no explanation though? Radix sort using counting sort. Yeah, why is there's no explanation? Okay. So at least this one have explanation. But it's so long. Do we have a 4? No, we don't have a 4. Okay, and it's linear. And this is linear, right? And this is linear, so okay, which one should I learn? Which one? Pigeonhole Principle. So the Pigeonhole Principle states that if n items are put into m container and n is larger than m, then at least one container must contain more than one item. Okay, this I understand. Okay, is this what what I should read, or let me check the... Oh, I don't have summation, of course. Discussion bucket Java solution. Okay. Oh, and let me check the top rated. Oh, okay. So suppose there are n elements in the array, the minimum number is min, then the maximum gap will be no smaller than ceiling. The maximum gap will be no smaller than this. Oh, so the maximum number minus the minimum number is the entire difference of every interval, right? So it's a combination of every interval. So divided by n minus 1 is the average of each interval. So the maximum gap will not be smaller than that because that's the average. So that's the average. And if you have a maximum smaller than the average, that is impossible. Right? So the maximum is always larger than this. This I understand. Okay. So you make a gap of that. We divide it on number into array into... Huh? What is n? What is the smaller n? I know the bigger n is the number of elements. So do you say that this is... okay. Where case bucket contains all numbers in the range of minimum plus since there are n minus 2 numbers that are not equals to min and max, there are n minus bucket, n minus 1 bucket, then at least one of the bucket are empty. Hey, so this is the pigeonhole theory, because there are only n minus 2 and there are more bucket than the number. So I guess this is what we just saw, the pigeonhole principle, right? So we only need to store the largest number and the smallest number in each bucket. Oh, so this is bucket sort. Because for a long time, I'm confusing why people have bucket sort and counting sort. So I think maybe originally I thought my understanding of bucket sort is actually counting sort. And this is bucket sort because the bucket should not be a size 1 bucket. If you have a bucket of this size, and then okay, there is a graph. So you have 3 and 9, you have 21, 25, 29, 37, 43, 49. We set the bucket size to 10 number. If we set the bucket size cleverly, we can ensure that the maximum gap cannot be the same. Okay. So what they say is that no matter... So if those elements are in the same bucket, then the maximum gap will not be between those three elements. The reason is because we already did this, right? We already know that the maximum gap will be no smaller than this. Hello, Chris. I'm trying to watch the solution and learn. After 15, yeah, because I don't even know how to. Well, I gave up after one line. So, but this is something that I think it's good to learn. So, yeah, because originally I think that number smaller than 400, sometimes the hard is not really hard. Sometimes you can really do it by yourself. But for this one, I don't think I can do. This one is that there is something that I don't know and I never learned, and I have to read and learn and know how to do it. There's not a chance that I can do this myself without like reading the solution or reading from other people's code. Doubt anybody, but yeah, it's probably not, because it's the last time somebody asked this is 2 years ago, Amazon, and only 4 times. So yeah, but I think it's still a good thing for me to learn, because before this I never know that why there's somebody called bucket sort and somebody called counting sort. So I always think counting sort is bucket sort. Now that I know why it is called a bucket, because the bucket actually contains maybe different, like there is a size for each bucket, and then you can store a lot of different elements in the bucket. And for this kind of question, for this specific question, is that we know the maximum gap will not happen in between any element within the same bucket, because we know the maximum bucket will be larger than this size of the bucket. So we only need to check the largest one in this bucket and the smallest one in this bucket. For example, we use 21 to compare with the largest one from the previous bucket, which is 9. Okay, so now I sort of understand, but I'm running out of time. I might need to cheat again, but let me read the code. So, of course, you return if less than 2, and you get the maximum and minimum, because you want to do this, you need to know the gap, and so you get the maximum and minimum, and then you got the gap, right? And then you store the minimum value of the bucket. Okay, so you have a bucket of size this, number length minus 1. Number length minus 1. How do you get this? Do you not need to divide it by gap? Oh, no, because you already know maximum and minimum, right? So okay, I don't know why the bucket size is this. And you fill it with, for the minimum, you fill it with maximum value, okay. And then you put number into the bucket. And you don't put the maximum and minimum. And then you count the index, right? Okay, so but why your bucket size is number length minus 1? This is still, I'm still confused, because if you calculate your index by I minus minima divided by gap, then your bucket size should be max Oh gosh, because this is your number. Oh, okay, I got it. This is the number of bucket that you have, right? So this divided gap will be the size. Okay, I got it. So now for you calculate the index and then you update the minimum value of that index or the maximum value of that index, and then you scan through the bucket for the maximum gap, right? So you again set them to minimum value. Okay, and then previous value is min, and you do that until you got a max, right? Okay. Okay. Yeah. So 6 minutes, I might not be able to call all this within 6 minutes. So let me cheat first. Hold on. So let me submit something first. And then not my code. But the top rated answer. Huh? Even copy and paste, I got it wrong. Oh. Gosh. Wait, this is Java, right? Hold on. So what's wrong? Ah. Okay. Okay. So now that I understand how to do this, let's try to do this myself. Okay, so bucket sort. Now I finally realize why it's called bucket sort, because actually a bucket have a size. For so long, I think bucket sort and counting sort are the same thing. But it's the same thing anyways. So this is still bit. Don't use this. And okay, so where do we start? We start by finding the minimum value and the maximum value in the nums array, right? So, or let's do the special case first, right? So if it contains less than 2 elements, return 0. Okay, so let me do that first. So if, could that be empty? No. So this will not be empty. This will be at least 1. So if the length of this is smaller than 2, I don't need to check if it's null, right? Because it will be at least 1. So then return what? 0? 0. Okay, so we got that done. Now we need to traverse through the element, the nums, to get the maximum. And so we need a maximum equals to like since I need to give an initial value, why not just nums 0? I mean, but I'm doing this only because there is at least 1 element, so I can initialize it with this. Right? Maybe. So then for intn in nums So let me, don't be that lazy. Right, so we need to know what is the, so max will be the max. Let's compare this to the current norm. And let's do the same thing for the mean. So now that we got the should we call it gape? Because it's actually not gape, right? It's actually the size of the bucket, right? So is everybody called it gape? I don't know why. Is that something that, do you call it a gape? Yeah, bucket size, right? I think bucket size is more reasonable. So bucket size, because that's how I understand this question. So the bucket size will be your max minus your mean and divided by, let me get an n. So that it will be easier to read. Let me get rid of this. So now that I have an n, it's n minus 1, right? So because we have this many interval, so we take the average of it, then it will be our bucket size. And the reason why we take this bucket size is because anything within this bucket size, any two number within this bucket size range will not be contributing to the maximum gape within the norms array. Okay. So now that we have bucket size, what should we do? Now we declare the bucket, of course. So we have a bucket to save the smaller number or the smallest number. So small. Wow, the name is too long. Smallest in bucket. I need that name so that I will understand later. So what I want for bucket size is actually this minus this, right? But this, that minus this actually is this. Hold on. We need the math. This is integer, so we need it to be ceiling, right? Or can we afford it to be smaller? I think we can avoid. We can. It should be okay to be smaller, right? So that I don't need to do ceiling. I can just leave it like that. Because we just need to guarantee that the maximum gape won't occur within the bucket. So it's not okay to make it bigger, but it is okay to make it smaller. And for Java integer, it will just cut off the tail and make it an integer, right? So I think it should be safe for us to do this. But for the size though, this is a bucket size. I need a bucket number. to be this, right? So this is the size of our bucket array. Or this is number of bucket or bucket number. And should it be an integer? Do we need a ceiling? Math always confuse me. So now that we have a size, what if you cannot divide it? This we do need to take the ceiling, right? So if our interval is, for example, 6, and our size is 2, we have 3. If our size is 2, 7, then for this we do need ceiling. Or actually, it's probably even okay for us just to +1 because it's just the bucket number. And you can afford that you have extra bucket with no number in it, right? I think so. Yeah, but I think it's okay to do the ceiling, maybe. Okay. And then, so now I have this. And then I also need smallest or largest. LARGEST. Largest in bucket. It's the same. And now so the range is from 0 to 10 to the 9th. So we could okay. Okay, so I will probably need a... So we could either use integer max value or -1, right? I mean, and 10 to the 9 plus 1. It's probably easier to just use maximum number. Anyway, let's do it. ARRAY, erase the fill, right? I think we have a fill. So we fill the smallest with the math integer dot max value or -1. No, or 10 to the 9th plus 1. But I think this is easier. So now we fill the bucket. Num star length, or that's n. So first, how to calc the index is nums the I minus the minimum value and then divided by the bucket size. Now, do we do ceiling or... Oh, I'm so confused. So do we do ceiling? No, it will be a bit integer, right? Math is so confusing. Okay, so then this index will equals to math the minimum of itself compared to what? Where is my cursor? Compared to the current number, right? And we do the same thing for the maximum. Great. Now we fill up these two array. All we have to do is to check the age value of each bucket. So we start by checking the minimum. So we have a previous value equals to minimum, right? So previous value is the previous value of the bucket, previous largest of the bucket. So for INTI equals to 0, I less equal than the bucket size. I plus plus. So for each one, hold on, we need a res. So the res, where can I declare it? Here. So we are trying to get the maximum number of something. So let's get that's initialized with the minimum something. And there will always be an answer. So the answer should not be this, right? Because the only exception we already deal with it. So for each one, res will equals to the math.max. So you compare your self res to the current, so to the so your smallest I minus pre, right? Right? This is how you define, right? 6 minus 3 is 3. Okay, yeah. And now, after doing this, you update your pre to the largest of I. And continue. So in here, what do we have an empty? What do we have? What if we have an empty bucket? So if we have an empty bucket, because we initialize, for example, the smallest to be the maximum value of something, right? And then you are trying to get the max of the maximum value. So I guess you need to check if it's empty. So how do you check if it's empty? So if like just randomly get this, I think, right? I think I do need to check if it's empty, right? Or not. If I design the question this way, yeah, this will get pretty big, so I can ignore it. So I do need to check if this is, oh god. or if it's not, then we do this. Or hold on, let me do this and then continue. I don't know which one is better. So if this is empty, then we don't compare anything. My pre will be still the previous pre. My max of the rest will not be updated. So next time when I encounter something, some bucket that is not empty, this will be valid, right? Because pre will be a valid value from the previous largest, and this will also be valid. And then we will return rest. It looks weird for me why my code is shorter than theirs. Maybe because they have comments? Yeah, they have comments. But still, mine is shorter than theirs. Why? It looks weird. Did I forgot anything? Oh, I have typo, of course. Incompatible type loosely convert. Oh, this is not a typo. So I can do... Oh, this is already an integer, right? So, do I need to make it a double for the ceiling to work? The reason why I'm using ceiling because I don't want to always +1. So I can just make it a double. Should I? I mean, I make this a double and then divide it by bucket size, and then I do the ceiling. Still wrong. And then I put it back as an integer. Runtime error, out of bound for line 19. Line 19. Oh. So if I do a ceiling in here, I don't have enough bucket. Oh, my math is killing me. My math ability. So ceiling is ceiling. So if I make this a double, I divide it by bucket size. I want it to be +1. And okay, so maybe because I don't want to put the maximum value into it, so I have to be when I'm updating this, I have to make sure that the smaller and the larger. So I need to, again, I don't know if continue is good logic or if and then indent this part, but because I recode this, so I will be just using if this is equals to min, or if this is equal to max, then I not do anything. So speaking about min and max, I forgot here to do the max again, right? So your result will be this. And it's max minus pre. Okay. So now after this, I should not get runtime error, right? I hope. No man, but it's a wrong answer. Okay, I got 6. How can I got 6? How do I get 6? What a weird. Oh, I don't want to print everything out to debug. I don't. I have a mean. I go through the bucket. So I am assuming my bucket logic is correct. So I go through each bucket. And then if it's empty, I don't do anything. Otherwise, my res is my res, or the smallest in this bucket minus pre. Pre is the largest one. Okay, I do have to print something. So disappointed. So I want to know what's the min or what's the pre. I also want to know what's the current. But it could be integer max value, so it will be pretty big. Okay, I only want to print this. Yeah, let's try it. Why it only run? Why only run once? My bucket size is wrong. So for this question, my bucket size should be 9 minus 1, which is a divided by 3, which is 2 point something, so which should be 3, right? So I did it twice. And the first bucket is empty. Oh. Where did I do wrong? So yeah, I want to see the bucket size, and I want to see the bucket size and the bucket number. Bucket size is 2, bucket number is 4. Okay. Oh, bucket number. Oh my god. Okay. Oh, I named my own variable and I don't know what it means. So this is probably really bad naming. Yeah, I confuse myself because always you use array size, right? But this in here, the array size is actually bucket number. Okay, okay. So do we have more? Like, I don't want to test this. Let me test something weird. But yeah, we can probably test that. And let me do a weird, like, run. 0, 0, 11. Okay, so it's probably right. Let me submit. This time, this is my own typing. Of course, still not my own solution though. But at least I type my own solution without looking at other people's solution. Huh? I got this? Okay. Yeah. What did I do wrong? So the maximum and the minimum is this too. How do I got... I guess this... Which point? At which point? Do I run out of my memory? I am confused. Wait, what? Bucket size is 0? Okay. Ah. Do we need distinct? I don't remember we deal with this when I was looking at other people's solution though. So do we need distinct? Yeah, because for this there is only... So how do you deal with this kind of situation? I don't want to find out how many distinct number in here, because that require me to do a set or a very big array. Right, so our bucket size is 0. But in fact, yeah, how do I resolve this issue? I don't recall seeing somebody emphasize on this, or I forgot the detail. Maybe I saw the detail, I didn't notice that. of course I can make it smaller, but I don't want to. Okay, let me check the... Did I check the solution of this? So you use ceiling, so you will always have 1, right? So that's the thing, that's why you need to use ceiling. And then you use max 1. Okay, but if you use 1, isn't that too small? But you at least need to be 1. Okay, so I will probably, because I intentionally not to use ceiling in here, so I will probably just use yeah, the reason why I don't want to use ceiling is because I think, oh yeah, but of course it's okay for the bucket to be smaller. It's not okay for it's not safe for the bucket to be bigger. But if it's a double, ceiling won't make it too big to a point that the maximum gap is larger than to make the bucket size to a point that is larger than the maximum gap. Right? So ceiling is actually safe, although it's enlarging the bucket size, but it's still within a safe range. So that's why using a ceiling might be a good idea. But if it's 0, how do you make 0? So the ceiling of 0 is 1. I think ceiling of 0 is 0. So how does he resolve this issue? I think ceiling of 0 is 0. Wait, because you use double. Okay. There are so many details because you use double, because so that it won't be 0 unless every number is the same, right? So it still could be 0. So I'm confused. How does this code avoid that the size could be 0? I mean, even if you use double, but what if the array is the same? The array only have one number repeating so many times. Then you will got 0 and your gap will be 0, right? Or am I wrong? Hold on, let me print out a stupid thing. I just want to know. A test to print out ceiling of 0. Am I crazy thinking that the ceiling of 0 is 0, right? Yeah, ceiling of 0 is 0. So I am still not sure how this code avoid when an array have the same number repeating in so many times and the maximum number is equal to minimum number. So it will be 0 divided something which is 0. Even if you make it a double, it's still 0, right? Or it's not. Yeah, I don't understand, but I don't want to. There's so many details. I don't understand how he avoid. Maybe there's no test case. I want to try that, but let me try it later. Let me get my code working first. So I don't want to use ceiling. So to make sure it's at least 1, I can either +1, which is not safe, or I will do what the solution, official solution says. I will do math dot max this or this to guarantee that it won't be 0. And then for that, this should work. Yes. And I also want to see if this works in this condition. I need to return 0. Yes. I am going to test how his code is. Yeah, I'm confused. Okay. Now I want to test his code. Oh no. Maybe I was wrong. I don't know. I just don't know how he deal with this. Oh, what did I do wrong? Okay, I want to test his code. With this. And it worked. And it worked. So where did he use escape? So why his escape will not be 1? Will not be 0? So what am I trying to print? Escape. Give it 0. Oh, I know. Because it won't divide it by 0, because if it's minimum or maximum, you won't do anything. Ah. So in this condition, you won't do anything, right? So you will just jump out of this for loop without doing anything, and then you will return 0 by the max escape. And your max escape is minimum value, and then yeah. Yes, and you got 0 by dividing 1 to nothing. Yeah. So there are too many details in this question. I mean, I know those code looks elegantly, but they hide those details somewhere. Like, okay, now how do I get the answer 0? Because my mathscape is min value, and then my previous is min, and then now because my, oh gosh, because you actually skip everything, right? So the array is all still full of maximum value and minimum value, and because of that, you have this check. So you actually didn't do anything in the for loop either. You jump directly to here. Now the max is 1. The previous is 1. So when you do a max compared to minimum value to 1 minus 1, will make the maximum gap 0, and then it will return 0. Oh my god. That's how you get 0 for this array. Oh my god. Even if I'm looking at a solution, I don't even know how it works until now. Okay. Wow, I learned a lot of things today. So what's my submission? How do I compare my code to theirs? I'm using their solution, but still I don't know how theirs works. So for me, the reason why I will get 0 is also because of this, right? Yeah, the same thing. I have pre as min. I skip the entire for loop, and then when I jump out, max is 1, pre is 1. I got 0 by that way. Okay, now I think I finally understand this question. And I guess this hard question only have so many ways that you can solve it. So many people, almost all people, have the same time complexity. From the bar chart, you can see how thick the bar is. And also, many of us have the same. So although I'm only better than 34.9.09, but the bar is so thick, I think everybody's usage of memory is similar. Hey, there's a weird comment. Wanna become famous? Of course I want to become famous. Oh no, I don't want to become famous. I want to be nobody. Okay. Yep. Okay, so I guess that's what I learned today. And I'm glad this is something that once I see the solution, I can do it myself. Although there are still so many details that I ignore or forgot or didn't even notice, but I somehow learned the real bucket sort is that the bucket might not be a size 1 bucket. The bucket could be a size 10 bucket, size 100 bucket, so that we can avoid comparing every number in the bucket. So that's how they solve this issue. Okay, but of course, if the number range is like 10 to the 3, then of course it's okay for you just do the regular counting sort, bucket size equals to 1 bucket sort, right? Okay, let me read the solution again to see what I miss. And now it's already late. Maybe the other day or some other day I will try to see what is radix sort in here. You could also do partial sum. Wow, this is so confusing. Okay, and find all digit least max. Is that what it means? Okay. Yeah. Okay, I guess that's it for today. So let me take a peek on what do we have tomorrow. Search suggestion system. It looks hard. Search suggestion. Okay. Anyways, okay. So this is for today's hard question, maximum gap. Although at a glance of it, I think the question is so short, so brief. So yesterday or earlier today in the morning. I don't think this is a hard question, but it turns out it's hard for me. It's not that hard, but it's hard for me. That's to a point that I won't be able to solve myself. I need to see the solution, and I do learn something. I did learn something, so I hope you do so. And that's today's daily question. That's it for today. So I will see you tomorrow, or not tomorrow, later today, to solve the last question of the May challenge. And then let's see if we can get the May badge. And that's it for today. Thank you for watching. I will see you later today. Have a good sleep. Bye bye.